Hello friends, and welcome back to my Tarot TBR. Last month, I did a March mood read kind of month, and I chose not to do my TBR because I had been pretty overwhelmed in February with the amount of readathons that I took part in, and it was amazing. It was really eventful and productive, and I loved everything that I read and had so much fun with those readathons, but I needed a bit of a break to just read whatever I wanted to read, and it was lovely. So I do not have any kind of punishment or reward for my TBR from last month because it was just a mood read. It is now coming into April, and I have pulled my cards for the Tarot TBR of April. So without further ado, let's get into the books that I got. The first card that I pulled was the High Priestess, and I have had this one before. It is to connect to the spiritual realms, read a book featuring mythology or religion, and this one I struggled with a bit. I didn't have anything really on my physical TBR or my Scribd account that was really calling out to me, but a friend of mine said that they have a copy of this book at their house, so I'm going to borrow it. So I went ahead and chose The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. I have been wanting to read this for so long. It is all about the female perspective in Greek mythology and Greek stories. So I believe that it is mostly centered on the Trojan War from the perspective of Helen and the maids and the prostitutes and the women who were married to the men who fought in the war. And that is a perspective that we don't get a lot of. So I am really excited. I've heard really good things about this. So hopefully it is going to be a 5-star read for April. The next card that I pulled is the Hermit. And this is one of my favorite cards. I have been waiting for this prompt to come up. And the prompt for the Hermit is, the world can be overwhelming. Read a book that makes you feel cozy and safe. So what I was thinking of for this was a reread, and most likely a reread of something that I loved when I was a kid, that I would just curl up with when I had no other responsibilities and I could just read and not have to worry about work or school or relationships and those kinds of things. So I have been waiting for an excuse to put this on my TBR, and it is Sabriel by Garth Nix. This is a story that I read countless times in elementary and middle school. I reread it and reread it and reread it and absolutely loved this story with my whole heart. And it is a story of a girl whose father is the Aborson, and the Aborson has the ability to move spirits from this world to the next using a belt of bells, and each bell has a different power, and it's very kind of dark and supernatural and has a lot to do with death, which is odd for this to be my comfort book, but I loved it so much and reread it all the time, and it was such a good story. And I recently got the next book in the series because as a kid, I didn't even realize that this was a series. I thought it was a standalone book. So my goal is to starting with Sabriel, go through the whole series and finish it off because I never did that. And I am excited to see what happens with the characters and if they bring in new characters or if it's a whole storyline. I have no idea. So excited to get this on my TBR this month. The next card that I pulled was Justice. And this prompt says that there are many worthy causes in the world. Read a nonfiction social justice book. I've had this book for a little while. I got it from my friend, and it is a bit close to home because I'm a teacher, but this is a book about gun violence and the school shootings that happen in America so often. And it's called How Students Can Join the Fight for Gun Safety. Enough is Enough. And I am really, really looking forward to this. I feel like it's going to be, I'm hoping that it's not too intense emotionally and that it's more, you know, what you can do to make a difference and empowering versus depressing. But I feel I love the layout of the book. It's multimedia. I think it's meant for like high school students. And there's graphics and really cool art sketches. It's upside down. And I can't even see that. Really cool art sketches and pictures and cool different texts. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. I think that I've been avoiding it because the topic of gun safety and the topic of school shootings is something that is actually pretty scary for me. I think it's one of the biggest fears that I have working as a teacher is that I'll end up in a situation like that where I am responsible for all these little children and there's a shooter in the school. So it's a very scary, real thing that happens in our country way too often. And I am really looking forward to seeing what this author has to say about the issue and what kinds of things we can do to help prevent it. Finally, the last prompt that I got was the Tower, which is always kind of a scary tarot card to get, but the prompt for this is no life is untouched by disaster. Read a hard-hitting memoir or a book featuring a cataclysmic event. Now, I kind of shied away from some of the ones that I could have done for this that would have been incredibly devastating, which is something that I will do if I get this card again, but I wanted to lighten up my TBR just a little bit because there's a lot of death and darkness and things. There is still death in this book. It is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Frederick Backman. Never read any of his work before. He is so well loved in the book community, and I've been wanting to read some of his work for a very long time, and now is the time to do it. So the cataclysmic event that I am using for this story is Elsa, the main character. Her grandmother dies and leaves her a series of letters to give to people that she has wronged in the course of her life. So the event is big. It's a death of somebody that she's close to, and it changes her life forever. So I think that that fits for the Tower prompt, and I'm so excited to get into this book. I have a feeling it's going to make me cry, but that's okay because I think it's supposed to be wholesome and like heartwarming. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's my TBR. I just pulled 4 cards this month because I want to be kind to myself. We are heading into the spring term for my classroom, and we're going to be doing a whole heck of a lot of fun things, but it's going to require a lot of prep outside of class, I think, and I want to make sure that I give myself time to do that as well as enjoy my booktube. So I don't want to stress myself out too much this month. But there you have it, my little TBR stack, plus The Silence of the Girls, which I will borrow from my friend and read this month. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is one of my favorite videos to make on this channel. I love TBR games, and I really like the way that this one is turning out. I love the diversity of books that it asks me to read. It really makes me think to try and fill the prompts. So far it's been really fun. If you are interested in doing the TBR challenge with me, let me know. I can set up a video call or something, or pull the cards for you and give you the prompts for your TBR for the month. And just leave me a comment below if you'd like me to do that. I'm more than happy to do that. Anyway, if you liked this video, please remember to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, friends. Yesterday.